Hi, welcome to Advanced English with Steve UK, and I'm Steve. Here are 75 words which are at C2 proficiency level. Many of them will also be useful for learners studying at C1 level. This is the second video in the series. I'll leave the link to the first one in the description. I'll be producing a quiz about all these words to test all these words shortly. So do make sure that you subscribe so that you'll get notification of when that quiz is available. Okay, all these words you'll find very useful. Some of them are challenging, some you may know. Okay, let's go. Counter-argument, a noun. An argument used to criticize or dismantle another argument. Make sure to include a counter-argument in your essay so that you can show you've considered the topic from all perspectives. Counterproductive, adjective, hindering the achievement of a goal. Bill's idea to take a shortcut was ultimately counterproductive. It took us twice as long to get to the train station. Culmination, a noun, the final act or climax. The culmination of the performance was unforgettable. Cultivate, verb to foster the growth of. Teachers don't just pass on new information to students, they cultivate their academic potential. Decree, to declare formally and with authority. The President decreed that the birth of his son would henceforth be a national holiday. Deference, noun, respect or regard. Her deference to the elderly makes her the perfect candidate for an internship at the retirement centre. Deficient, adjective, not enough in degree or amount. I feel the sources of my paper are deficient. Demonstrate, verb, to do as an example. Another meaning, gives evidence for. Could you demonstrate the dance move for me? This book's use of words such as grim and bleak demonstrates the author's mournful tone. Deplete, to use over time or to overuse over time. The lost campers quickly depleted their supply of food. Desolate, adjective, bare, barren or empty. The moon is one giant desolate landscape. Devise, to come up with a plan. Lana devised a plan to make herself famous. Diligence, conscientiousness, the quality of being committed to a task. Diligence and confidence will get you far in life. Diminish, to become smaller in scope or degree. The itchiness of mosquito bites usually starts to diminish after a few days. Dire, adjective, hopeless and dangerous or fearful. When the police didn't explain what was happening right away, Jane knew that the situation must be dire. Discord, noun, disagreement. Disputes over money caused intense discord in the family. Disdain, noun, a lack of respect and strong dislike towards something or someone. He looked at me with such disdain that I immediately knew the job wouldn't work out. Dismay, the noun, hopelessness, stress or consternation. Verb, to fill with woe or apprehension. To Nick's dismay, he got an F in the test. Many were dismayed by the town's implementation of metered parking. Disparage, to belittle or speak down to. A good boss is stern, but never disparages his or her employees. Dispatch, to send off a message or messenger. The mother dispatched her daughter to their neighbour's house. Diversification, the act of becoming diverse. Lately, there's been noticeable diversification of students at higher institutions. Doctrine, a principle, theory or position, usually advocated by a religion or government. Devoutly religious people often live their lives according to their doctrines. Dominion, power and authority, usually over a territory. It can also mean a legal territory. The country claimed to have dominion over its neighbour. Puerto Rico is a dominion of the US. Dreary, adjective, sad, gloomy or dull. The grey clouds in the sky made the day feel dreary. The word dreary even sounds dreary, doesn't it? Dubious, doubtful, questionable. The man's claims to the throne were dubious, since nobody knew where he'd come from. Eccentric, adjective, peculiar or odd, deviating from the norm. She's a little eccentric, but still fun to be around. Egregious, adjective, extremely bad. After cheating on the exam, Emily began to feel as though she'd made an egregious mistake. Eloquent, having refined or expressive communication skills in speaking or in writing. His speech was not only eloquent, but also extremely compelling. Eminent, superior or distinguished, high in position or status. Our town made news when the eminent magician came to perform at our local theatre. Emit, to discharge, give forth or release. Plants consume carbon dioxide and emit oxygen. Empirical, derived from experience, observation, or an experiment. You need empirical evidence to support your claim. Endow, to equip or bestow, usually a quality or ability. According to the myth, the gods endowed him with the gift of healing. Endure, to withstand, sustain, or hold out against. I can't endure the wait any longer. Will Stanford accept or reject me? Entail, to involve or include. A doctoral program entails long nights and a heavy workload. Entrenched, firmly established. The image will forever be entrenched in my memory. Enumerate, to specify or count. I can't enumerate how many times I've had to remind my students when their papers are due. Envy, excessive jealousy, as a verb to admire and be jealous of. His envy of her is obvious. She envies her co-workers' social skills. Erratic, having no fixed course, deviating from the norm. His erratic behaviour caused great concern to his family and friends. established, to enact, or to found a business, group, school, and so on. They established a law that made it illegal to drive after drinking any amount of alcohol. Our group established a new branch in Manchester. Evoke, to draw forth or call up. I can't watch horror movies. They evoke too much fear in me. Exacerbate, to make worse or increase the severity of. The doctor told me not to run as it can exacerbate my knee injury. Excel, to do something extremely well or to be superior in. She was a well-rounded student, but excelled especially in science. Exert, to put into use, usually as effort. Don't exert all of your energy at once. Exhilarating, invigorating, stimulating, or exciting. The music playing at the club was catchy and exhilarating. Expend, to use up, as in energy or money. Be careful not to expend all your energy in the first half of the marathon. Exploit, to use selfishly or for profit. The shoddy company exploited its workers by paying them extremely low wages. Facilitate, to aid the progress of. I recommend the course. The instructors facilitate students' research and offer constructive criticism. Feasibility, the practicality or possibility of something. The feasibility of her project was doubtful. She'd have to go all the way to Antarctica and back before the school ended. Ferocity, viciousness, violence. The lion is just one wild animal known for its ferocity. Fiscal, adjective related to money, usually government money. Fiscal policy is how the government uses money to influence the economy. Flourish, to prosper, grow, or make fast progress. After 1 year, the tiny plants had flourished into a breathtaking garden. Fluctuate, to be unstable, to rise and fall. Stocks can fluctuate daily, making it difficult to determine when to buy or sell one. Foment, to stir up. The civilians accuse their leader of fomenting political unrest. Foreseeable, capable of being predicted or anticipated. I can't imagine aliens visiting us in the foreseeable future. Frankly, directly or clearly. I frankly don't see the point in learning to drive. Freewheeling, adjective carefree. His freewheeling attitude often got him into trouble at work. Fundamental, the most essential or most basic part. A thesis is arguably the most fundamental part of an university degree. A thesis is arguably the most fundamental part of a university degree. Galvanizing, thrilling, exciting, stimulating. The galvanizing performance left everyone spellbound. Geriatric, relating to old age. I became interested in geriatric medicine shortly after my grandfather passed away from cancer. Hostile, harmful, dangerous. The voices round the corner sounded angry, hostile even. Hypothetical, adjective supposed, related to a hypothesis. For my physics homework, I must come up with a hypothetical situation. Impart, to transmit, bestow or disclose. Parents must impart common sense to their children. Impartiality, the equal and objective treatment of opposing views. To ensure impartiality, we require everyone to follow these general guidelines. Imposition, noun, an unnecessary burden. If it's not too much of an imposition, could you proofread my paper? Incite, to encourage or stir up. Her hateful words incited anger in the crowd. Indifference, apathy, emotional detachment. The girl's indifference towards her brother upset their parents. Indiscriminate, randomly, with little or no distinction. Lottery winners are chosen indiscriminately. Indulge, to give into, to satisfy or gratify. My friend loves to indulge in cheesy romance movies. Infer, to guess, conclude, or derive by reasoning. You can infer from this quotation that the writer didn't care for pretty language. Innovative, novel or new, especially as an idea or invention. Her invention was incredibly innovative and won her multiple awards. Insatiable, adjective, can't be insatiable, adjective, can't be satisfied. A vampire's thirst for blood is said to be insatiable. Inversion, reversal. The cultural norms were an inversion of our own. Invoke, to call on, to appeal to a higher power. The shaman attempted to invoke a demon. Irreconcilable, incapable of being in harmony or agreed upon. Irreconcilable, incapable of being in harmony or agreed upon. The couple's differences were ultimately irreconcilable, giving them no choice but to break up. Lament, to feel sorry for, to mourn. Susan lamented her mischance of going to Europe with her high school class. Locomotion, movement. Physics includes the study of locomotion. Lucrative, adjective, capable of making a lot of money, profitable. Writing books isn't a particularly lucrative career, unless you're J.K. Rowling. Okay, that's it. Did you know all the words? Many of the words? None of the words? Well, if you need to revise them, of course, you can play it again. And remember that I will be producing a quiz. So remember to subscribe. And as I said, there is a link to the first part of the video in the description. I'll be producing 2 more sets of proficiency words, proficiency vocabulary in the near future. Okay? See you again soon. Until then, take care. Bye-bye. Oh, by the way, I forgot to say, a very good way of learning new vocabulary is to join our Zoom workshops, our Chatterbox Zoom workshops. We mainly cover lexis rather than grammar, and it's not just individual words. There are loads of lexical chunks which you'll learn, collocations, idioms, phrasal verbs, and set expressions. So I'll leave the link to that too in the description. Okay, for the second time, bye-bye. See you soon.